Listen to me, people. If you are retired or if you are anywhere near retiring, I want you to sit down, pay attention, and hear me loud and clear. Because every single day, I hear from people just like you, people who have spent 30, 40, maybe 50 years working hard, paying their bills, and building a life, and suddenly, you decide you want a new credit card, maybe for cash back, maybe for travel, or just to keep in your wallet for peace of mind. And the very first card issuer so many of you look at is Capital One. But then, right behind that thought, comes a wave of fear. A huge, terrifying question mark: is Capital One hard to get approved for? Are they going to turn me down because I am retired? Are they going to judge me because I do not have a traditional paycheck coming in every 2 weeks anymore? I know what is going through your mind. You are terrified of rejection. You are afraid that if you click that submit button and you get denied, your credit score is going to take a hit right when you need your financial house to be rock solid. You are worried that living on a fixed income, whether that is Social Security, a pension, distributions from your 401k or IRA, or savings, is going to make you look risky to a major bank. And let me tell you something, that fear is real, but a lot of what you are assuming is completely wrong. So let us strip away the confusion and get straight to the truth. I asked Capital One hard to get approved for. The short answer is, it depends entirely on whether you know how Capital One plays the game. Capital One is actually one of the most accessible major card issuers in the country, but, and this is a huge but, they are unique, they are strict in very specific ways, and if you go in blind, you can make a mistake that hurts your credit score for no good reason. Here's what you have to understand about Capital One. Unlike some banks that only cater to people with pristine, 800-plus credit scores, Capital One has cards across the entire credit spectrum. They have cards for building credit, cards for average credit, and premium cards for excellent credit. So in that sense, no, they are not inherently harder to get approved for than anyone else. But here is where people in or near retirement make huge, costly mistakes, and I need you to listen to every single word I am about to say. Mistake number 1 is how you report your income. I cannot tell you how many retirees open up an application, see the box that asks for annual income, and panic. They think, well, I don't have a salary anymore, so I guess my income is 0, or just a tiny fraction of what I used to make. No. Do not do that to yourself. Federal law allows you to report any income that you have a reasonable expectation of access to, or that you regularly receive. That means your Social Security payments count. Your pension counts. Your required minimum distributions or voluntary withdrawals from your IRA, 401k, or brokerage accounts count. If you are married and your spouse earns income or has retirement funds that you draw from to pay household expenses, that counts too. Your income in retirement is not 0 just because you stopped punching a clock. When you apply, you must report your true, total accessible household annual income so the bank sees your real capacity to pay. Mistake number 2 is applying for the wrong card. Capital One is very clear about which credit tier each card is designed for. If your credit score is in the fair or average range, say, mid-600s, and you apply for their top tier, premium travel rewards card that requires excellent credit, guess what? You are going to get denied. Not because you are retired, not because Capital One hates you, but because you applied for a card meant for a completely different credit profile. That is a self-inflicted wound, and you must protect yourself from doing that. And here is mistake number 3, and this is specific to Capital One. Pay attention. When you apply for a credit card with most banks, they pull your credit report from one of the 3 major credit bureaus, either Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion. But Capital One is famous for pulling your credit report from all 3 bureaus at the same time. That means one application generates 3 hard inquiries. Now, a hard inquiry is not the end of the world. It might drop your score by a few points temporarily, but why take 3 hits to your credit unless you know you are going to be approved? So what is your actionable takeaway? How do you stand up, take control, and make sure you do not waste a hard inquiry or suffer an unnecessary rejection? You do not just go to their website and hit apply now. Never, ever do that. Capital One offers a free, online pre-approval tool. And hear me on this, checking for pre-approval uses what is called a soft credit pull. A soft pull does not affect your credit score by even a single point. It allows Capital One's system to look at your financial basic profile and tell you exactly which cards you are pre-approved for before you officially submit a formal application. This is how you protect your hard-earned credit score in retirement. You go to their official pre-approval tool. You fill in your accurate information, including all of your legitimate retirement income sources. You let the system check. If it comes back and says you are pre-approved for the card you actually want, wonderful. Now you can proceed with confidence knowing your odds are exceptionally high. If it comes back and says you are not pre-approved, or if it only offers you a basic card that you do not want, you walk away. You lose nothing. Your credit score stays perfectly intact. No hard inquiries, no marks on your record, no hits to your pride. One more critical warning for retirees: before you use any pre-approval tool or submit an application, make sure your credit files are unfrozen at Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. I always preach freezing your credit files to protect against identity theft, especially as we age and scammers get smarter. But because Capital One checks all three bureaus, if even one of your credit files is locked or frozen, your application will get automatically delayed or rejected. Unfreeze all three, run the pre-approval tool, select your card, and then refreeze your credit files once the application is complete. At this stage in your life, your money is about freedom, security, and peace of mind. You do not need to be afraid of applying for credit, but you must be smart, you must be strategic, and you must treat your financial standing with the respect it deserves.